Thank you so much, Christy. I understand that you want to take that with you. We've gathered for a celebration this evening, and I say it that way so that we can put the handkerchiefs and Kleenex away. God has done a great thing in the life of these two congregations, and we ought to celebrate and thank God for the good things that He has done. In His wisdom, He's made it possible for two congregations to grow.
It doesn't seem possible that this journey has moved along so quickly. When we began this journey together, just the initial conversations more than 2 years ago, when in my office I was sitting one day and received a phone call from a realtor by the name of Myrtle Hurst, who called and said, "Are you all interested in selling your church?" That is not the first phone call of that nature that I had received. I've received many of those kinds of phone calls in the years that I've been pastor of this church. However, there was something about this call that made me pursue it a little further. And so we began the conversation then that ultimately led to our beginning by jointly having a service. And rather than me to try to relate to you this pilgrimage in terms of dates and events, I hope to convey something of a feeling about this pilgrimage that we have had together. I hope that will indeed be one that will be long remembered in all of our minds and hearts, and will be for the good of all mankind as a result. The first thing that I want to say about the pilgrimage that we've made together is that it began with mutual risk. There are many risks that were undertaken in this adventure together. Of course, you know, when you begin something of this nature, it does begin in a business kind of relationship, but for us as people of faith, it began with that mutual risk that each of us were taking. There are the risks that in our day that all of us would be facing what the world needs to face and overcome, and that is the sense of racism that we find among us. And as a result, we knew that we would be taking a certain risk in terms of racial climate in our world. And that was a risk that we undertook to begin with. We also understood that there would be the risk of rejection. You know, that perhaps if we started this venture together, that somewhere along the way someone would simply say, well, we don't want to do that, and there's a sense that perhaps we would have faced rejection. But there was also the risk of failure. Most of us do everything that we can in life to prevent failure, but someone said you'll never be successful in anything until you learn how to fail. So we began with mutual risk. But then we moved from the state of mutual risk to that state of what I characterize as mutual respect. I knew George DeBerk long before I ever knew Christian Fellowship. I knew George before you ever became a church. I knew Emmanuel McCall, only from a distance, but I knew Emmanuel McCall a long time before you ever became Christian Fellowship Baptist Church. I held respect for George, had it long before he became a member of your congregation. I had respect for Emmanuel McCall long before he became pastor of Christian Fellowship. I met him only on one other occasion. I knew his reputation, and his reputation basically is the beginning of that respect, as well as that of George, that respect which I had, which has developed into mutual respect. Now, that part of the pilgrimage has broadened. I look out over this congregation tonight and I see individuals that have become my friends. On Sunday morning, nothing delights a pastor more, Manuel, than going out here and greeting folks. Now, I wasn't trying to steal anybody's Christian fellowship, but I sure did and sure do enjoy my relationship with members of Christian Fellowship Baptist Church. The respect has become mutual. I know individuals, and as I have come to know you, I know your pain, your sorrow, your hurt. So mutual respect is the second part of this pilgrimage that we've shared in these 2 years. But we took on mutual responsibility. When I was called about selling this church, I talked rather frank to Myrtle Hurst. My conversation with Manuel McCall initially was a rather frank one, because I said to Dr. McCall, I said, don't do this unless you're serious. There's no need for us to talk about selling our church and a mutual partnership unless you're serious. Manuel McCall wrote me a letter, pinned his name to it, saying we are serious. But I'll assure you that the undertaking preceded the signing of his signature. His signature was good because Manuel McCall's word is good. And so therefore we took on mutual responsibility. We signed a contract, but long before we signed the contract, we had a partnership in which we shared our mutual concerns and our hopes for these congregations. There was mutual responsibility. We obligated ourselves, you obligated yourself, and none of us could imagine that those obligations would have developed so smoothly, wonderfully over these 2 years. I cannot in my human mind conceive of how, now some of you don't say I'm sexist, but I can't imagine 2 women living in the same house. I remember when my mother-in-law came to visit us after Willeen and I married. You should have seen those 2 girls in the kitchen trying to decide who was going to be mama in that kitchen and who was going to be in charge. Well, I want you to know that I couldn't have envisioned how so many of us could have lived, as I said in the initial meeting, that it's like 2 families living in the same house. Now, you all have done more than your part. There has been that mutual responsibility, and I want to say from the standpoint of every dimension and aspect of that responsibility, Christian Fellowship has succeeded and gone far beyond any of those commitments that you made to us in your generosity, understanding, and care for us during these days. Well, the last thing that I want to say is that there are, for us all, mutual rewards. First, I believe that each of us found the will of God, and we've done the will of God. There's no plan that men could devise that could have worked as smoothly and effortlessly as this pilgrimage together for these past 2 years. It's one thing to know the will of God and quite another to do it. Secondly, each congregation has a mission to do it. I believe that God planted Christian Fellowship here. And I believe that God planted McDonald Road Baptist Church at 352 McDonald Road, and that has been given to us as a mission, and we have that responsibility as well. Thirdly, I already alluded to this, we've made lifelong friends. Someone said to me this morning, I hope that there have been some hearts changed as a result of our journey and pilgrimage together. By that I'm sure that she meant that I'm sure that others, and I'm certain that others can see that across races, color of skin, culture, education, and everything else that divides us. That in this journey together there has been the rewards of knowing one another in Jesus Christ. I have friends that will be lifelong. Fourthly, we have ministered to one another. This morning, I felt the mutual pain that we shared. I felt your pain touching our pain because you came here out of the pain of your own journey. And because of that experience, you've understood clearly the pain of our journey. Certainly, God has opened doors for us, but we will grieve the experience of leaving this place just as you grieve the experience of leaving a former place and coming to this place. And together, we have ministered to one another. Finally, we learn from you. Christian Fellowship does things in a wonderful way. Now, I've been looking for something that you don't do well, and I've not found it yet. I've looked very hard. You're wonderful Christians, and we love you for being our partners in ministry. Unto Him be glory in the church.